Before starting this course on career counseling, it is extremely important to understand why you should take your career choice seriously. In this video, we will help you understand the importance of making the right career choice for yourself. So, why is your career choice so important? It is important because it determines a lot of things in your life, including number 1, quality of life. Your career choice plays a huge role in deciding where you live, how flexible your life is, and the kinds of things you are able to do in your free time. Number 2, identity. Ask any elder person about their career and they will tell you about it as a part of their identity. They'll say something like, I am a journalist, instead of, I report news. Notice how everybody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And not, what do you want to do when you grow up? This shows that your career choice shapes your identity. Number 3, impact. Every human life touches thousands of other lives in so many different ways. If you select any 60-year-old person who is about to retire, take a time machine, find him as an infant, throw that infant into trash, and then come back to the present day, you'll find that a countless number of things around you have changed. So whatever career you choose, the world will be affected by it. Anything that determines your quality of life, your identity, and the impact that you make should be taken very seriously. And that includes your career choice also. So we hope that this short video could help you understand the importance of making the right career choice. Having done that, we will now move forward to start our career counseling course. We are pretty excited and we hope you are too. So, let's begin. See you.
Good evening, everyone. सबको स्वागत है. Welcome to day 60 of Pro Bono's live podcast. Today we have Stuti Changle, who is an author and an anchor, with us. Firstly, I want to welcome Aditya, and to ask us stream, Vinayak is running from behind the scenes. So thank you, Vinayak. A small shout out to Vinayak as well. Firstly, welcome to all the audience members, and of course, Stuti, as I mentioned, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us. Welcome to our podcast. Firstly. मैं इंट्रोड्यूस कर देता हूँ स्टुति जी को. Stuti Changle is a popular author of the much-loved books On the Open Road and You Only Live Once, who is on a mission to inspire the youth to pursue their dreams with courage. Her books rose to Amazon bestseller charts in a month of its release. She has been associated with over 50 events and traveled to over 50 colleges across the country as a speaker to convey a vision and motivate the youth to make a move. She truly believes that each one of us, no matter where we come from, has that one idea that holds the potential to touch a million lives. She also helps them tell better stories in life through her storytelling workshops. She made her TV debut in 2019 as the host of TV series Karke Dikhayenge, which Aditya was once a guest of. I recommend you go back to our Facebook videos and give that a watch. Karke Dikhayenge, where she presents the stories, knowledge and learnings of entrepreneurs and leaders through a candid tete-a-tete with them. The entire TV series is broadcasting every week on Tata Sky, Airtel, Big TV, Geo Network and Talentopedia platforms. She also works as a digital creator by the day, helping her clients craft a compelling narrative for their websites, blogs, and social media. Simply put, all things content. She has persevered to build a vibrant community of readers and followers on social media who actively engage with the content. She interacts with the community through Instagram Live and Facebook Live and discusses about travel, life, dreams, ideas, startups, love, and much more. Her readers do not step back from sharing their thoughts about the book using the hashtag OTOR. Her readers tell that their stories are similar to what the characters from her books, that is, millennials searching for the meaning of life, go through and feel thoroughly motivated to take a plunge after reading her stories. Stuti is a postgraduate in management from the prestigious B School, IMI, New Delhi, and a graduate in computer science and technology. She has worked with corporates like HSBC and Coffee Day Beverages before testing the entrepreneur waters. So that's a mouthful, firstly. So again,
Thank you,
Sudhi,
Samant. That was
Sudhi,
that was
firstly, I want
lovely.
to I want to welcome you again to the podcast. और जितना मैंने बताया उसके अलावा अगर कुछ बचा भी है, so if you can introduce yourself अपने खुद के शब्दों में and address our audience. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you so much. That was a very lovely introduction, and I think you covered mostly all the aspects of my life. तो बहुत ज़्यादा आपने scope छोड़ा नहीं है. But if simply I have to tell people what do, I write books. That is something that I've been the most passionate about since the beginning. मेरी दो books हैं, which are already there in the market. The first one is called On the Open Road, and the second one is called You Only Live Once. One thread that binds all of my stories is that I reach out or I speak to the youth of India through the characters that I, sketch out, and I try and talk to them, deal with their problems, help them, come out stronger, better through these narratives. So that's the overall purpose. That's the overall mission. I always say make a move, which means that move from where you are, do something that you really want to do and feel about, and you'll see positive and amazing results coming.
Great. So firstly, ये तो मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा ही जो कि usually आता है. From computer science and technology to management to becoming an author and TV anchor. So your transition कैसा हुआ? It's like you're going all over the thing and touch the millennials, as you say. Try to create a relatable content. Or before that, Aditya, if you can share the Amazon link to the books, both of them, in the comment section, that would be great.
Sure.
Yes,
Thank you, Aditya. And Samant, that's a very lovely question. So let's start जहाँ से ये कहानी शुरू हुई थी या जहाँ से मेरी journey शुरू हुई थी, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So writer बनने वाली जो चीज थी, it was always there. Like I always wanted to become a writer and I wanted to write. It is something that I always felt about. Even when I was young, I was better in English than maths. And there were so many reasons, there were so many things to believe that I really want to do this. But होता क्या है ना, इंडिया में जब आप decision लेते हो, तो it's not just your own decision. You are influenced by all the people around you. That's the society, that's your friends, that's your family first. And that's your teachers, everyone who's around you. और उस टाइम पे सबसे ज्यादा अगर किसी चीज को एक वर्ड होता है इंडिया में स्कोप, किस चीज का स्कोप है. सो एवरीवन सेज दैट इंजीनियरिंग कर लोगे तो काफी स्कोप है लाइफ में, या मेडिकल कर लोगे तो काफी स्कोप है. आई वाज बेटर इन मैथ्स एंड दैट वाज द ओनली रीजन आई पिक्ड अप इंजीनियरिंग एज अ करियर, टू PCM as my subjects. And उसके बाद लगा this is something which I really don't want to do, and what do I do now? I'm like really stuck. So rather than taking the decision of writing or getting into this, I got into MBA. I was like, this will at least delay the decision for 2 years, and then I can be, I can think about what I really want to do. And I was just procrastinating. That's about it. मैं सिर्फ टाल रही थी कि हाँ चलो देखेंगे. After MBA and the jobs that you've mentioned that I did, I realized that there comes this point in everyone's lives जब आपको लगता है कि it's enough of you've done what everyone else wants you to do. Now you should really follow your heart, or you should really do what you feel about and what you are really passionate about. So that's how I ventured into writing. It happened back in 2016 after I quit my job and I started writing my first book. But later on, I realized that, quitting your job is also not easy. You still have to pay the bills. And I say this time and again to everyone that it is true. Society sahi कहती है that, initially writing will not pay your bills. So you need to figure out how you use your passion or utilize it in a way where you are able to balance things. So I wrote my first book, and along with that, because मैंने MBA किया था, I had certain knowledge or certain skills in digital marketing. I started building my social profile, my social brand, and I also worked with a couple of companies on freelance basis, जिनके लिए मैं blogs लिखती थी या content लिखती थी, and that's how, with a perfect balance, the whole journey into writing started. Now I'm doing both of it. I have 2 books out in the market, and I'm also, a social media creator. I create content there, and I also help brands do that. But that's more like a freelance thing I do side by side. So I'm very happy. I can just tell you that after taking this journey, I'm in a very better place in life. And I'm very happy that every day I'm able to devote some time to something that I love the most, and that's writing.
Great. Maybe I'm not, getting into your author life. Like, and I want to touch upon this, what you said, you freelance and help out businesses, and, you're doing multiple things, not just author. और जैसे कि आपने बताया, I think the honesty and I think the truth is necessary. कि, अगर आप writer बनना चाहते हो, तो right away do not expect to get paid by, huge publications, or even expect publications to take up your work. Struggle होगा. I think struggle से ही आप success की तरफ आगे जाओगे. लेकिन
Yes.
the one thing I want to pick up on is you do multiple things. It's not कि, okay, I've written 2 books, they're bestsellers, I'm done. Or, I'm just going to stick to writing. You try out multiple things. So you want to talk about that, like how did that happen, and how did you venture out into trying out multiple things?
Okay. So I'll like to tell people that in the end, find out what is it that you want to do. Like, what's the purpose? वो क्या चीज है जो आप लॉन्ग रन में करना चाहते हो, या वो क्या इम्पैक्ट है एक लाइन में जो आप क्रिएट करना चाहते हो. फॉर मी, telling stories to inspire people is the purpose of my life. That's all. It's one line, it's clear. Now, stories can be told to people in multiple formats. It is not necessary that only books will tell stories. If I'm talking to you on a podcast, it's a story. If I'm creating something for TV, maybe script writing, it's a story. If I'm speaking in front of TV, again, I'm telling a story. And even if I'm creating my, social media, pages, which are my own, or for any other company, for their brand, I'm again telling a story that will touch people. So I thought, rather than making it so concise as to only write books, because you can only write 1 or 2 books in a year, not more than that. But if you become a creator, or if you try and tell or make your content reach out to people through different mediums, then you're reaching them more often. And again, you're doing the same thing that you wanted to do, that you're telling a story. So in the end, whatever I'm doing, formats may differ, but the ultimate goal is to tell a story that inspires people.
I think usually जब हम बात करते हैं और इंडियन कोई भी इंडियन बच्चे के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, पेरेंट्स या सबसे यही आता है कि नहीं जिंदगी में एक ही कर पाते हो आप, एक ही फोकस करो और उसी पे अच्छे बनने की कोशिश करो. लेकिन व्हाट वी फॉरगेट इज विजन एक होना चाहिए, एंड और रास्ते, वो विजन तक पहुंचने के रास्ते आप कई अनेक ले सकते हो. इट डजंट हैव टू बी कि अच्छा आप कुक बनना चाहते हो तो रेस्टोरेंट ही खोलना पड़ेगा, या फिर अच्छा आप शेफ बनोगे. डजंट हैव टू बी. तक मल्टीपल रास्ते आप लेके तो उस विजन तक पहुंच सकते हो. आई थिंक दैट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल थिंग.
And adding on to that, Samant, I would like to make a point here. यूनिवर्स का एक ही लॉ है, चेंज इज द ओनली कांस्टेंट. अगर आप फिजिक्स भी जानते हैं तो आप इस बात को जानते हैं कि चेंज इज द ओनली कांस्टेंट. मैं जितना रैंडमनेस को स्ट्रक्चर करने की कोशिश करूँ ना, उतना ही मैं नेचुरल लॉस के अगेंस्ट एक्चुअल में लड़ रही हूँ. सो यू कांट बी द जाओगे, आप पुराने हो जाओगे. यू हैव टू कीप एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग. अगर आप जॉब में भी हो तो आपको नई स्किल्स अक्वायर करनी ही है. ऐसा नहीं, वो जो कहते हैं ना 10th कर लिया तो सब हो गया, 12th कर लिया तो लाइफ सेट हो गई, ऐसा नहीं है. लर्निंग इज अ कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस. Gaining skills is a continuous process, and remember that change is the only constant. The more skills you get, I never thought that I can speak in front of TV. I thought that I can only write books. But जब मैंने speaking को discover किया, I realized that it's a whole new skill that is adding so much value to my curriculum, vitae or my resume. So keep gaining. That's the only thing.
Right. और आपने जो बोला कि you have to keep growing and keep changing. And going back to our podcast with Samar sir, Saibal sir and Rajiv sir, who kept insisting that you unlearn, relearn and adapt yourself. That's one thing that is going to keep you relevant in the changing times. Or one thing I want to pick up on, is probably not exactly something you have a formal conversation. 1 to 2 years a book. I think George R.R. Martin would have to disagree with you on that.
Sorry, I didn't get that part.
Like, yeah, when you said you can maximum write maybe 1 or 2 books a year, I think George R.R. Martin will have to disagree with you on that.
I think anyone who's getting paid as much as R.R. Martin is for his amazing legacy, for his amazing work, that is Game of Thrones, would definitely disagree. So if I get such a contract and I have to write series after series, I will quit everything and I'll just write. I think that is very much possible.
Right. And by the way, guys, George R.R. Martin is the author who brought up the Game of Thrones books, which have been converted into the TV series on HBO.
Yes.
So great. With that, I want to hand it over to Aditya. I'm sure he has a lot of questions as well. Before that, guys, Aditya ने Amazon का links दोनों post कर दिया है chat section में. That is the books you want. That is a signed copy by the author, that is Tuti, and of The Open Road. So I do recommend. It's not that expensive. I'm going to order right after the podcast. And if you do buy a book, definitely put up a story on your Instagram or somewhere and tag both Pro Bono and Stuti. Yep. Thank you so much. And Aditya, back to you.
That is very helpful. Thanks, Aman.
Thank you so much, Raman. And thank you so much, Stuti, for agreeing to come on the podcast. So I would like to put a pin on one thing that you said, which is, so that is definitely one. We are also talking about, can you hear me fine, Samant?
Aditya, I think network issue, you have to start over from the first point.
Sure, no issues. So I would like to put a pin on the first point, I think, which was mentioned, कि एक तो हमें unlearn और relearn करते रहना चाहिए, अपने आप को upskill करते रहना चाहिए. That's definitely, one thing which is useful to anyone who's watching this. If it's a parent pursuing a career, that's useful to you, for yourself, for your child. If you're a student, then it is useful to you. And if you're a teacher also, then again, for for the students that you are catering to and for yourself, I think this is something which applies to all of us. Was the the fact कि author.
Aditya, could you go back 10 seconds? फिर से network का problem आ गया था.
Oh, I'm really sorry for that. So I was asking कि ये जो initially discussion we had that being an author. So first of all, I would like to ask you कि ये moment कब आया था when you felt that I want to switch into this full time?
Okay. इसके लिए I'll tell you that in life sometimes negative experiences trigger a lot of action. So अगर सब कुछ अच्छा है, सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा है, तो you are like, you are in your comfort zone and things are working fine for you. So you really don't think about change or you don't really think about all these things. ये सब jargon बन जाता है जो LinkedIn पे trend करता है. You're like, this is something, but I'm away from this. But sometimes when some negative experience happens to you, or with you personally, then an impact that what is it that you can do to change this thing. So I'll not get the details of what happened. That in my job there were certain things which happened to me, and when I realized that this is not the kind of life that I really want to live. So to just make it very clear or very simple, sales mein kya hota hai na, there's a way bosses deal with the employees, and sometimes even it's a woman employee, they can get a little abusive or they can get a little stricter or stronger in the way they approach, and it happens वो थोड़ा सा problematic हो जाता है. You're like, अगर मैं खुद boss होता अपने काम का तो शायद आज मुझे ये बात सुननी नहीं पड़ती. So what can I do to be my own boss? And then you are suddenly reminded that you don't really need a boss. Maybe you can try and do something in life. Have mentors. I'm not commenting here that you shouldn't have a mentor. Have a mentor, but not that bossy boss who keeps telling you that this is something that you should do, this is something that you should not do. So that particular incident for me, where I wanted to be the change maker, or I wanted to lead my own thoughts without being advised by someone else as to what I should do and should not do, actually help this transition happen to become an entrepreneur and take that, okay, I take care of all the things, be it my finances, be it my writing career and everything. तो वो डोर जो आपने दूसरों पे छोड़ रखी थी कि वो उसको चला रहा है, गाड़ी आगे चल रही है, मैं आराम से बैक सीट पे बैठी हूँ, अचानक मैं स्टेयरिंग पे आ गई एंड आई वाज द वन ड्राइविंग द कार एंड दैट कार वाज माय लाइफ. सो आई थिंक it happened that way.
So it was initially a need to be your own boss, which you felt there was, and then you shifted this career. और जब आप career में वो transition किया, so obviously there were a host of options. You could have opened your own startup. I think your husband is already has a very successful startup. We'll come to that maybe sometime in the conversation.
At that time, he did it just got successful recently, so they had just started up long back.
Oh, acha. So both the husband and wife were following their passions back then.
I think he's been a very strong or a very driving force in terms of giving that motivation to me as well. So at that time we were friends, but I would really look up to him that ये कुछ अलग कर रहा है ये बंदा, सही है, कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा, that kind of a thing.
Right. So it's available in front of you. When you chose author or when you chose the social media influencer, and there also I think I've seen many of your posts. I keep following. So you write mostly quotes and feelings from your own life and with a nice picture on it. So when you were shifting into this career option, did you already know that you have the ability in you, or had you already done something similar in your past experiences?
No, not at all. It was just a hunch or an inner calling that I can be really good at this and people will love me because it just comes so naturally to me, or it's just so effortless and amazing that I should try this out. So my career was in sales and I was with HSBC first. So there it was commercial banking, and with Coffee Day as well, it was more of, selling coffee machines. So it was B2B sales. So it had nothing to do with digital marketing or storytelling or speaking. I just know that when I was in school and when I was on the stage or when I was in a debate or anywhere, I was heard. Like people would love listening to me, and teacher was always a lot more happier than me with me than my maths teacher. So these are little cues I've had all the way in my life, which made me feel that maybe I'm good at it. But in the end, it was this strong belief, within me that this is something that really drives me, and I would love to do this for the rest half of my life. I wouldn't feel bored a single day if I'm doing this. So that was the only reason I picked it up.
Right. And it's a very interesting thing, because now that you are at that stage, now that you have two bestsellers with you, if you were to go back to class 12th, because you chose a different path, you were an engineer, then you became, then you became a manager, then you started sales, and now that you are here, would you do something differently if you were to go back to class 12th?
In terms of choosing the career options that I did, I don't really regret any decision that I've made, because all the MBA I did helped me with the social media marketing, digital marketing, all the sales I did made me a little more bold about selling or pitching my ideas. All the maths that I've learned helps me manage my finances, and all the science that I've learned has always encouraged me to learn more and more, like ask why is this happening, or why is that happening, not just stick to what has been told. So everything that I have done has added up to something and made me who I am today. So I wouldn't really change the subjects or anything, but one decision I would definitely like to change. So I moved out of my home like really late. So giving a brief here, I am in Delhi currently, but I hail from Indore, and I was in Indore until I had completed my engineering. So I think if I would have moved a little before, from my native place, I would have got a lot more exposure in terms of opportunities and, career options. And that's something that I feel that I could have done a little differently.
Right. And so also, Stuti, we were, discussing this, that before the podcast started, what are the pros and cons of being a full-time author? So obviously you said that you're pursuing a lot of stuff. You are an anchor, you're a traveler, then you're a social media influencer. You also do social media marketing campaigns for other companies. So being a full-time author, what are the pros and cons of it? And, what would you suggest to people who are aspiring, who are watching and who want to be authors later on? Should they only pursue it as a full-time focused career option? Should they have a backup available? And if the backup should be available, what's a good backup to keep with, which is pretty much similar to being an author, or which can complement the same skills which you have built as an author?
Okay, so on this, see, if you want to become an author, then your goal should be like very clear and correct. Since the first time when you decide to become that, if you want to make a lot of fortune, and if you want to make you want to buy a Ferrari, and you want to do everything to do with, won't be of one of the careers that you'll be pursuing. That shouldn't be your only career. Maybe then become a millionaire first through whatever you do, and then write a biography about what you've done. But only writing will not make you that. And there's nothing right or wrong about being a millionaire. Each one of us has their own goals. So you might have a goal of becoming a millionaire, or earning a lot of money. If that's your goal, never pick up writing. I will never suggest that to anyone. But if impacting lives, if reaching out to people, if educating people, if sharing knowledge, sharing ideas is something that you're very passionate about, and you get a sense of satisfaction out of doing it, and if you're okay to be having a very normal and a very like a very mellowed down and a normal life, like how you have in tier 2 cities, not really a very flashy, dingy life, then go for this. Then this is something that you should. Again, here I like to focus on one thing, that when you start as a writer, initially, until your first book reaches or even starts to sell, you still have to take care of yourself. Like, you have to do something. So here I'll take the second part of the question, that should you build, added skills, and should you do something else? Yes, definitely you should look for parallel skills. Like how I spoke about writing not being the only option for me. I position myself as a storyteller, and then writing, speaking, and other things, they just branch out. They are different mediums to reach out to people, but I am very clear about what my end goal or what my purpose is going to be. So if you're clear about that particular thing, then the journey becomes a little eased out. One of the good things is that you'll get a little bit of fame, because I'll tell you what happens is, when people read your books and they really like, they suddenly become your family. They start engaging with you. Agli book kab aa rahi hai? This certainly they suddenly try buying in all of your ideas. उनको आपकी हर बात सही लगने लगती है कि नहीं, ये बोल रही है तो सही होगा, ये author है, इसको पता होगा, she must have done the research. So those are some of the good things that will happen, that will follow. And of course, that is the pro and that is the con as well, because you will be in the public light, and people will know what you're writing. आप कुछ बकवास करोगे तो it can become a meme. आप कुछ अच्छा बोलोगे तो it can become a slogan. So you will become a voice, and becoming a voice comes with its own added responsibilities. So I think everything that you will be will have some pros and some cons. In the end, goal is the key. What is your goal? Do you want to touch people, impact lives through writing? Yes, if that's the goal, go for it. But if you think that, you want to be successful in terms of having a lot of monetary, things, then no, this is not really the career option.
Thank you for so wonderfully covering all aspects of it, Suzy. And, with the fame part, I think I was about to ask that question when you yourself addressed it. मैं बोलने वाला था कि fame तो लेकिन काफी आता होगा author में, and you obviously addressed it also. So I also want to ask you, so if somebody wants to become an author right now, और अभी एक बहुत बढ़िया फायदा ये हुआ है कि obviously you are a published author, but let's say if I want to become an author and I don't have the required resources, then there are no gatekeepers anymore. I don't really need to approach publishers before publishing my own blog, or maybe just making a PDF and putting it up on something like Kindle. Now, has this worked out for the betterment of the publishing industry or the kind of book industry, or has this made it worse according to you?
Okay, so I'll address this question with a very personalized take on it, because I have an opinion on this one. So see, the thing is, 10 years back, I would listen to music only on TV, right? And for me, everybody who's on MTV or V channel is the only artist who's successful and singing, and he's successful and he has blah blah, a career that I imagine or I think of. But now, how many people do you remember from MTV? But do you remember content creators from YouTube? Yes, maybe you do. I mean, there are so many people like Zakir Khan, Bhuvan Bam, who've made their whole careers out of YouTube. YouTube has been a publishing medium open to everyone, and that has really set careers for so many people. And here there was no moderation, nothing, sheer talent. यहाँ पे आपको किसी का बेटा नहीं होना जरूरी, किसी का भाई नहीं होना जरूरी. You break all those barriers when these kind of things come up. So similarly for authors, self-publishing is something which is changing the industry totally. Like with the advent of Amazon Direct Publishing, Kindle Direct Publishing, and all these options where you can go ahead and self-publish your own book. Now you really don't have to worry or wait for maybe 3 or 4 years until your first script is at least going to be read by one person. And plus, if you're an outsider, you don't know anyone in the publishing or the literary, industry or the world, then it's hard. It's like really impossible to get published. I have been through that, and that has been my personal experience. So at that time, KDP or Kindle Direct Publishing that I'm talking about. So my book was first released on Kindle for free. Like I didn't have to pay anything to Amazon. While I'll make royalties and I'll get the payments, but I don't have to pay anything to Amazon to get my book out. Kindle is free of cost and everyone can go and publish their work on Kindle. And that is how my career began, or I started. So I think it has all happened for the good. I think all the barriers with internet are actually, coming down. You don't have so many barriers as you used to have initially, and people should use it to their advantage.
Great. So I think internet is a great power for all of us. And as Stuti said, we should use it for our advantage. And I think the fact that there are no gatekeepers allows everyone to show their talent. Even a student sitting in rural India right now with an Android phone in his hand, if he or she can write well, then the whole world is available to them as an audience. Stuti, also, since you have found the right publishers for your books, when you first, I'll talk about the process a bit. So when you first went to the publishers, was it accepted in the first attempt only, or did you get rejected by a few publishers first? Or how was the journey like? You likh liya book, now how does it go about, getting published?
Okay, so I'll tell you my story here, and let me make this, clear to you and the audiences that so many authors are so much successful with their self-published books that people never even imagine that they haven't still gone through a traditional publisher. So I sell both the books under the name Spotlight Publications, which is basically my own startup, or it's basically my own, publishing thing where I am the sole manufacturer, I would say. I make the content, I get it printed, I list it on my Amazon, and I sell it through my e-commerce channel. And there's no middleman. I make and keep every penny of what I save from that. And yeah, that is how it has been. So I started with Kindle Direct Publishing. Like I put out my first book on the open road on Kindle. There was this competition going on called Pen to Publish. I thought it was a chance to be heard by people, because until then, I had been waiting for 6 months, but none of the publishers, the traditional mainstream publishers, had replied to me. So I thought, chance leke dekhte hain, if this, sails through, then I'll at least have some initial readers. And luckily it went well. Like I could acquire a lot of new readers through my Kindle ebook. And then I realized कि जब इसका इतना scope है, people are liking it, people are loving it, then why am I waiting for someone else to write back to me and then, take this whole, the process which can happen so fast? Why do I have to take ages for it? Like, why do I have to wait for 3 years, 4 years? So somebody had approached me at that time and they really wanted to publish, but their cycle was 2 years. And I was like, I can't wait till 2020 for my first book. Tab tak to main 3 aur likh chuki hongi. So I went ahead and self-published it. And then same happened with the second book. I had an option, but again, publishing calendars are mostly full with all the celebrity books that they are busy publishing. And I couldn't get through. I knew someone and then I tried, but then again, it did not work out. So I thought, theek hai yaar, abhi wait nahi karenge. I will keep on, selling my own books, writing it. Once they feel that it is, worthy enough to be published within certain time frame, or I've built that sort of brand name for myself, then let's see how it goes. But currently I'm enjoying the perks of being the sole, founder or the sole entrepreneur and doing it and reaching out to so many people at the same time.
It's really nice, and I think this is a learning for both us and the audience कि दोस्तों self publish भी कर सकते हैं, तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि you have to go to Rupa or whatever names there are.
Plus, let me mention this. I won't take names online, but you can actually go and search for the famous authors who self-publish their books on Google, and you will be surprised to know that so many authors that you know of as very successful traditionally publishers, authors now have all started their journey from self-publishing. So it's not a taboo. It's a very general thing that so many authors do, and they have to go through in their initial phases, of their career.
So Stuti, now that you have enjoyed the perks of being a self-publisher, अब मन है publishers को approach करने का?
So Aditya, I have kept it, very simple. I am not really writing to anyone. I'm just focusing on my craft and getting it better. I'm attending as many master classes, sessions on improving storytelling as I can. I wish I can also write for films in the future. Like, I'm trying to just grow my skills. Meanwhile, the books that I have, I just have to, pack and dispatch them to Amazon, which is not an issue really. And all the orders that I get are fulfilled. So, I don't really have to bother a lot about the operations part. So currently I am happy creating content. I want to create lots of content. I don't want to wait for anything or anyone. And I know that thing surely will follow. And soon we'll be talking about maybe movie deals and all of that. But I'm working in that direction, but it hasn't shaped up yet.
Great. So sometime we can even mention later on screenplay writer or something like that in your profile. I'm pretty sure that will happen.
I wish I can.
Yeah. Also, Stuti, I wanted to kind of talk about the process a bit more. So let's say we start off with, writing the first word. So first word से journey पूरी book के publish होने तक how much time does it take? And in that time, are you just focusing on the writing, or are you also doing a few side things like, as you said, social media marketing or, authoring a few shows?
Okay. So I have, democratized the whole process. Like, I have given time to all the process, prioritized it, that what is it that I want to do before, what is it that I want to do afterwards in my day, and I've planned it accordingly. So my focus number one is always books. So after getting up, I have to write, no matter if I'm getting the ideas, if I'm not getting the ideas, I have to write about what I cooked today, but I have to write. That is something like I've made it like a routine that I have to write something. And I started with that. And after the midday hits, then I start working on all the other things that I have. When I used to do the TV show, we used to have shoots. So I would plan my days accordingly, that when I'm shooting, okay, aaj shoot karke aa gaye, then raat mein likh liya, or, adjusting my schedule according to that. But like 70% of my focus is on writing.
Sure. Samant, one more question before I come to you. मेरे को लग रहा है कि सामंत बैठे-बैठे थोड़ा restless हो रहा है. Our audience questions आ रहे हैं उसको भी. मेरे खुद से सवाल एक्चुअली खत्म नहीं होते ना. तो Stuti, I also wanted to ask you कि जैसे ये the way you are managing time is amazing. Now, so like when you're publishing these books and when they reach out to the audience, so about the feedback part, so when you get negative feedback, how do you deal with that? Because positive feedback, so I'm pretty sure there's like 90% of that is positive. But let's say 5 or 10% or 2%, whatever negative feedback is there. First of all, I would like to ask you, is there any? And if there is, how do you deal with it?
Okay. Just a sec. So sorry. वैसे मैंने अपने तरफ से वो question लिख के रखा था regarding criticism and feedback. So what you mentioned was you use the hashtag OTOR, that is on the open road. You use your fans can use that hashtag to give you any kind of feedback, be it compliments or criticism, whatever it may be. I think the two-parter question would be, आजकल के culture में, if like on the internet is usually हम देखते हैं कि थोड़ा सा भी negative criticism आता है, most people constitute under as okay, ये मेरे को बस hater है, this is a hater, or the other one would be, okay, this is cyberbullying. Basically, it's like trying to be the victim. But then
I think you're coming from TikTok versus YouTube debate.
Kind of, maybe a little bit. But ये culture चल रहा है, where any kind of even constructive criticism or any kind of even feedback is considered to be a hater, or it's like cyberbullying. So it's actually refreshing to see that you're actually encouraging any kind of feedback or open criticism. You're enabling a platform. So, from what Aditya said, just to add on, what is the best piece of criticism you got from your hashtag OTOR?
The best criticism.
Yeah, the best
Okay.
criticism that helped you grow, I guess.
Okay, so I'll start with the first part of the question with Aditya, that how do you deal with it? And I think criticism is a part of any journey where your work is open for feedback. And if you're a chef, if you're a writer, if you're a singer, if you're anyone who's catering to an audience, you will have, the best of both the worlds. You will get positive reviews and you will also get criticism. And also addressing the second part of the question, Samant, where you spoke about how do you really, define what constructive criticism is, or, what if it gets constituted for cyberbullying and all of that, right? So for me, the funda is very clear. If it is something concerning my work, so I take it constructively, be it anything, because they are here trying to help me, get my work better. Because पहली book में तो मैं perfect नहीं हो सकती ना. I mean, George R.R. Martin, the writer we were talking about, who's written Game of Thrones, I think we should be calling him Sir R.R. Martin. And I think he has been writing for so many years. He's now 80 plus. And that's the kind of talent or skills that he has, because itne saalon tak he has written so many things. He took all the criticism, he improved, he improvised, and now he is where he is. If we talk about A.R. Rahman sir, he is where he is because he's been creating awesome music for years, and he would have taken those, that criticism positively. So I think for anyone to grow in life, taking criticism positively is very important. Now, where do you draw the line? See, if you criticize about my work, I'm okay with it, and I generally take it with a very positive bend of mind. It's okay. I mean, I will improve. That's the only way my next book is going to be better than the first one, and then, so on and so forth. But if you're going to comment on my, like, let's say, religion, or how I look, or my physical appearance, or you're going to, talk about me being a woman, and maybe talking about topics that you don't think I should talk about, and stuff like that. Now, that's where I draw the line. Like, I consider it ki this is kind of cyberbullying only. Why would you want to, get into someone else's personal things, like, personal life, personality, me as a person, and then talk about it? That is something which is a little hateful. And all the social media channels are also working very strongly. They have their community guidelines in place. And if you do that kind of thing, no matter who you are, they take down your post. You might have 10 million views, 15 million. Nobody cares these days. Community guidelines are at the top of everything. And if you violated it, then your post is going to be down, or your comments are definitely going to be down. But if it is about someone's work, then why not? It should be welcome. And that's not at all cyberbullying. That actually helping someone else get better. The last part of the question, which was that what is that one criticism or that one comment that I got and it really, helped me improve? So somebody had written a very detailed and a very elaborate review on my Goodreads, and they spoke about how the story in the second half goes a little downhill, but then it picks up the pace in the end. Like towards the end, then it picks up a little pace. But in the second half, there have been parts that could have been edited and taken off. And with my first book, I really did not have an editor. Trust me. What people are reading now is something that I have written. There's no one else moderating it, changing the language. So yeah, it's very common, or it's very normal that not having an editor would have made it boring for some time, for some, readers. So with the second book, I took that criticism and I got an editor. And then she told me that, these parts can be done, parts can be done in a different way, and we can work on it. And I think your next work is always better than the first one, just because of those, comments that come in. So I really thank the guy, whoever it was. I don't remember the name now because my book has more than 400 reviews, but it was really helpful.
Great, fantastic. And it's refreshing to see you, encouraging an open platform for criticism on a person's work, not what he is or what he believes in, or, what he does in his personal life. I think every person's work that he puts out into the public should be criticized in hopes of doing a better justice to what you're doing. I think
Yes.
that should be something that every professional should look forward to, a good criticism to better themselves as a person and as a professional. There's a few audience questions. So firstly, Anita ji, who's a regular on our podcast, she asked, if I have a good knowledge of some field and want to become a blogger and earn by blogging, how can one pursue blogging / affiliate blogging as a career?
Okay, so very wonderful question, Anita ji. First of all, thank you for asking the question, and I hope you are now listening it to the answer. So, see, blogging, there are only two ways to earn income. Either there's a lot of traffic on your blog so that you can do those ad placements that people do on their websites, which generally does not happen in the beginning. And second is brand collaborations or brand endorsements, which happens subtly through the content that you create. Now, if you haven't started blogging already, see, there was a time when there was this .com boom and all the blogs used to be on blogger.com and wordpress.com, and everybody was writing huge content, huge pieces of content being churned out, and huge audiences following it. I think now the attention span of the audiences is also going down, especially with the advent of, things like TikTok and things like Instagram, where things are so instant and so fast, and just 30 seconds, they last for 5 seconds. So people have become more of a, not like, if you say voracious reader, I would say voracious consumer of content, which is small, but which creates some impact. So if you haven't started already, I would recommend that don't go for lengthy blogs and writing too much. Try a mix of photo creatives and videos, because that resonates more with people. Plus, future is in the video content. So if you're really passionate about that topic, speak about it on YouTube. It will get you a lot more traction as compared to a blog that is only words and very less people engage with. Also, the chances of monetizing is a lot more on the social media platforms through brand collaborations, as well as the revenue you get through the advertisements and affiliates. That kind of revenue now is almost on a downside for people who are just writing blogs and just creating that kind of content. Now, again, I'll tell you that it depends on what kind of content you are creating. If you're into fashion, travel, things that have a more visual look and feel and more touch with the experiences, or that plays with the memories of people, go for more visual content. But if you are an educator and you are creating content, let's say on science, maths, and things that people still would love to solve and do, like they would still love to read it, then don't overdo videos and creatives. Then try and make it a balanced mix of the writings that you're going to do and the creatives. No, not just 100% visual. But if it is cooking, if it is fashion, if it is beauty, if it is travel, if it is anything that involves lifestyle, go for as much visual content as you can. So use microblogging, which could be Instagram, which could be all the new social media platforms coming in, and not really that traditional old blog.
Right, fantastic. I hope Anita ji आपका answer मिल गया आपकी question का. There's another question by Vinayak, who's also running the stream behind the scenes. So he has a question. He asks, "Ma'am, when you're writing, do you try to maneuver your script to match what you think the audience likes, or do you write focusing on your own creative freedom and hope the audience catches on?"
Okay. Being very honest here, the first book was written with absolute creative freedom. There was no moderation. There were no expectations on me, and there was nothing that I was trying to cater to. I did not know the idea of audiences, demographics, and all of that things I got introduced to later on. So that book was written totally out of creative freedom. But with my second book, my readers had a certain expectation, and I knew that these 5,000, 6,000 people are going to be the first ones to buy the book when the new one comes in. And there was this need inside me to not disappoint them. And I wanted to create content which was parallel, maybe not the same, but parallel in terms of narrative and the kind of content that I put out. So let me make it very, simple for you. For example, if I write about travel all the time, and if people connect with it, relate with it, suddenly if I'm, writing about, let's say, beauty creams and fairness and all, they'll be like, Stuti doesn't really stand for this. Like, why is she talking about this? I'm going to go and unfollow her, or I'm not really going to, engage with her content anymore. So with the second one, there wasn't that much creative freedom. I was writing the same kind of, genre or the same kind of narrative because I somehow wanted people to, get more and more out of the same thing. Now, going forward with the third one, I'm going to experiment. Let's see if it, booms and blasts or, what happens. I don't know what future has in store for me. But the next one is kind of a semi-thriller that I'm writing. So let's see how it goes.
Yes, Stuti, when can we expect the next book to come?
Okay, so the lockdown has been very helpful and I am already, 50-60% through the story. So this year I release the second book and most likely by the end of this year only I'll be able to publish my third book as well.
Great, fantastic. So guys, you have till December to catch up on the 2 books, and December mein jab agla book aayega, there you go. You have the third book to read. And do follow Stuti on Instagram to keep up to date on her work. And also she conducts live streams on her Instagram as well. So अगर आपको ये podcast से अलग आपको उनसे connect करना है, so that's a great medium to connect with her on. So great. Let's see. So Stuti, I have one question. I guess, this was coming up maybe 2 to 3 times when you were speaking. जो कि the need for good communication skills. Not just as a person, but as a professional as well. So how would you say that, how important are communication skills for anyone? और आपने क्या किया है to improve your communication skills?
Okay, that's a very nice question, I would say. And I love addressing this one. Like I've done this before as well. And I really love this question. See, I personally believe that communication skills in, this 21st century is a must skill to have, no matter what you do. But if you have decent or good communication skills, you'll just be able to express your ideas so much more clearly. And, people would be so much more easily be able to empathize with the person you are and the ideas that you have. So the chances that they will follow or they will like what you're doing is a lot more, the chances to influence someone. So how do I develop good communication skills? So see, first of all, let me tell you, communication is not about language. A lot of people think कि यार मैं इंग्लिश में बोलूंगा या मैं इस तरह से हिंदी में बोलूंगा या मेरी एक पर्टिकुलर एक्सेंट होगी तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंशियल हो जाऊंगा. And a lot of people in India have this miscommunication, I'm not getting the word, like I'm a writer but I'm not getting the word, but that's fine.
Misconception. Yeah.
Misconception. Now see, there were 2 ways. If I forgot this word, I could have just, stuttered and I could have been like, oh my God, मैंने क्या बोल दिया life पे? Oh shit, now I'm dead, now my life is gone. But I know a little bit of communication skills. So I played around with it. Whatever it is. And so now I sound a lot more confident. पर हो सकता है अंदर से मुझे बहुत डर लग रहा हो कि अरे यार मैंने बहुत गलत बोल दिया. So that's the kind of impact that having a good communication skill can have. So coming back to the thought that we were on, that a lot of people have this misconception that speaking in a particular language, a particular way, or in a particular accent makes you a very influential person. You can influence others' thoughts. No, it doesn't work that way. Good communication is about empathy. It's about understanding what someone would relate to. It's more about understanding the person that you are speaking to. It's not really about speaking in a very good language. मैं हिंदी में भी बोल सकती हूँ, मैं बहुत अच्छा बोल सकती हूँ. हमने एक शो किया था, like Aditya was a part of it, which was my show, करके दिखाएंगे. उसमें हम हिंदी में बात करते थे, but we were as effective as we are when we talk in English. So ये दिमाग से myth buster है, ये हटा दो कि एक लैंग्वेज पे कमांड होना. आपकी जो भी कंफर्ट लैंग्वेज है, make that your pro language और आप उसमें अच्छे कम्युनिकेटर बन जाओ. Second thing is be honest and transparent. Like being transparent always happens in having an open communication, and people feel that they relate to the storyteller. If you just keep on telling impractical things, really flowery stuff, they'll never be able to get it. Third, always have that feedback from your audiences, whether you're on a stage, whether you are speaking with a friend. अगर वो आपके पास कोई प्रॉब्लम लेकर आया है, आखिरी में उसको पूछो, क्या मैंने तेरी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करी या तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करी? अगर मैं स्टेज पे हूँ, बहुत सारे लोगों से बात कर रही हूँ, तो आखिरी में वो फीडबैक लो कि यार क्या ये सेशन वैल्यूएबल था, क्या ये हेल्पफुल था. सो ऑलवेज बी ओपन टू फीडबैक, नो मैटर व्हाट काइंड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन यू आर engaged in. So these are a couple of things that are the pillars of, having a good communication skill. And empathy is the most important thing. Empathy is all about understanding what the other person is trying to say. It's not just speaking, it's also listening. So when I listen to your questions, one way is that I just go about answering them. Second way is I take a pause. I structure those points कि 3 questions क्या पूछे थे. I address them one by one in a fashion that people are also able to understand. So this way my audience will also understand me in a better way. So I think these are a couple of things that you have to keep in mind. It's not very difficult, and never believe that good communication is about language. It's never about that.
I think I'm also learning from you because there could not be better ambassador for good communication skills than you. एक चीज मैंने वो notice भी करी है whenever somebody asks you a question. Because last time, you were the host. So as a host, obviously your communication skills were amazing. But here I'm seeing also कि जैसे अगर हमने 2 सवाल पूछे, जनरली होता क्या है, मेरे साथ बहुत होता है पर्सनली. किसी ने अगर मेरे से 2 सवाल पूछे, मैं पहले सवाल का आंसर देते देते बह गया. अब मेरे को सेकंड सवाल याद ही नहीं है. So with you, I have seen कि 5 सवाल भी अगर आपसे पूछे, तो then you will answer first to fifth in that sequence. That is really amazing, and I think we should all learn from you. On how to improve ourselves to do that.
So that is, Aditya, about not just having speaking skills, it's also about having good listening skills. So communication is not just one way. It's not just कि मैं बोल दूंगी, सब सुन लेंगे, समझ जाएंगे. क्यों समझेंगे? आप भी तो उनको समझो. Like you also try to understand that what the other person is trying to tell you. Then only they'll understand. So communication is actually a two-way process. It can never be one way.
Absolutely. I think that's an amazing thing, which all of us can learn, because Ajkal, we always think about God has given us a mouth to talk, but then God has also given us 2 ears, so we should listen a bit also. I think that's the biggest lesson in communication all of us can learn from Stuti. And over to you, Samarth.
Right, Stuti जो बता रहे थे, उससे एक quotation मैंने बना दिया है. So I want to read that quotation out. You must have confidence in who and what you are. Never arrogant about where you stand, but always open to learning and growing.
Yes, that's an amazing thought.
Great. Let's see. I think with this question, I guess we can wrap this up. I think this is a good question. That is Anita ji का एक और question आया था. What's your thought over high-paying job versus jobs that make you happy?
Okay, so that's a very lovely question, and I think ये हमने शुरू में भी एक बार इस पे बात की थी, जब मैंने ये कहा था कि यार you need to figure out that what is it that makes you happy, because in world the problem is that there are no absolute rights and there are no absolute wrongs. What could be right for some person in a particular situation could be wrong for someone else at a different time, in a different place. So choose your own rights and wrongs. Like, what do you want? What do you feel is right? If you feel that satisfaction is not really something that you want, money is something that makes you happy, and it's fine. There's nothing right or wrong. एक तो क्या हो रहा है ना, पैशन को इतना ज्यादा आइडलाइज कर रहे हैं ना मूवीज में और हर जगह, की लोगों को लग रहा है जो फॉलो कर रहा है पैशन वही खुश है, और जो जॉब कर रहा है वो तो पक्के से दुखी होगा. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. I know so many people who find so much love, peace and happiness in the jobs that they do. Like my mom is a teacher. She is with a government school. She earns decent, not amazing high paid and all, and she's happy with her job because she has always loved interacting with kids, and she is in primary and her job allows her to interact with kids, and that's her life's only purpose, to be happy while interacting with kids, and there's nothing wrong about it. So the point that I'm trying to make is that there's no absolute right or absolute wrong. It's all about what do you prefer, what do you want. If you feel money gets you all the luxuries and comforts, work for it, grind hard for it. There's nothing wrong about it. So many people do and they are happy with it. But if you feel that following your passion or some particular thing is something that is giving you that pleasure, then you go ahead for that. Then you don't think कि नहीं यार मेरे को इतना पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. फिर पैसा कम भी मिले पर आपको इस बात में खुशी होनी चाहिए कि आप कुछ क्रिएट कर रहे हो या आप कुछ ऐसा कर रहे हो जो आप करना चाहते थे। और थर्ड पॉइंट जो मैंने अभी तक मेंशन नहीं किया, आप जॉब में भी पैशन फॉलो कर सकते हो। ये बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि पैशन फॉलो करने के लिए वन हैज टू बिकम एन एंटरप्रेन्योर और डू समथिंग आउट ऑफ द लीग, ओनली देन यू आर फॉलोइंग योर पैशन. No, like I gave my mother's example that her passion is interacting with kids. She's a teacher, she has a job, and now it's a perfect marriage. She's happy because that is what she always wanted to do. So either look out for jobs. So the best thing could be that you look out for the job that's high paying and that also helps you pursue your passion. But if you feel that no, when you grind a lot, बहुत work करना पड़ता है, ये है वो है, then it really doesn't give you that satisfaction, then step back and then decide that मेरे लिए वो क्या एक goal है that I want to pursue and then stick to it.
Right, और I think हम बात कर रहे थे थोड़े दिन पहले एक और पॉडकास्ट पे कि you work at a job that you aren't happy in 5 days a week, you're not tired physically, लेकिन यहाँ पे आपका इंजन खत्म हो जाता है और जब वीकेंड आ जाता है you feel like okay आज वीकेंड कुछ करेंगे, मजा करेंगे, कुछ नया करेंगे, बट you're like भाई मजा क्यों करे, 5 दिन अभी थक गए, सो जाएंगे 2 दिन आराम से. So you don't like you yourself are restricting कि अभी कुछ करना नहीं है, I don't want to explore, मुझे बस आराम करना. And I think बस थोड़ा सा mental energy accumulate कर लो, I think you can create wonders everybody. And that also you can earn pretty well from that job. So there you go. एक और चीज what you said about another quote from you I want to read out. There is no absolute right, there is no absolute wrongs. Choose your own right and wrongs. And also only Sith speaks in absolutes. Just a small Star Wars reference there. Great. Stuti ji, one final thing would be, what is your message for aspiring writers and anchors as well? Maybe just throw that in there.
Okay. The only message that I give to everyone is, which is something I really feel a lot, since I have ventured into this life and since I started this whole new career in 2016, it's that the life is not really about the failures and the successes. You have to find peace in the journey because there will be good days and there will be bad days. No profession, no career, nothing presents you with every day which is perfect. No matter what you will do, there will be failures. And again, the thing about failures is that failures are constant. Success is the only thing which happens at some times. जबकि लोग जिंदगी को उल्टा देखना चाहते हैं. They feel that feeling successful or being successful is something that should be all the time. कभी कभी भगवान मुझे failure दे देना. People are like that when they go to the temple. But the truth about life is that failure is the only constant. Like you will do so many things and success will happen only once. So I'll give you a very, small example. When Thomas Alva Edison was making the first bulb, which was the first invention, अब हम सबके घर में lighting है तो हम उसको appreciate नहीं करते. But there were times when we did not have, the privilege of having electricity. It is said that he failed so many times, more than 1,000 times. And then finally, once he was able to build the bulb. So if he would have, lived thinking that every experiment that he does, everything he does in life has to be a success, then this success wouldn't have happened. So success is fleeting. Aayega, jayega, aayega, jayega. Failure is constant. You'll keep trying, you'll keep trying, you'll keep trying, you'll fail. You'll keep trying, you'll fail. But sometimes, some peaks, so don't live for successes and failures. Live for the journey. Your end goal is not to make the bulb. Your end goal is to enjoy the journey of making the bulb because you're so passionate about it and because you love playing with the wires. That should be the goal.
Okay, wonderful. That was beautifully put. I'm not going to add anything to that. That would be injustice to you. On a good note, एक और quotation पढ़ना चाहता हूँ from Stuti herself. I don't know, आज quotations का overload है, so I'm just gonna roll with that. This came from Stuti, obviously. In our universe, change is the only constant. If you try to structure the randomness of life, you're going against the law of nature. Great. On that note, thank you so much, firstly, Aditya and the audience. Thank you for your questions, comments, and insights. And of course, Stuti, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. बहुत ही
Thank you
मजा
so
आया,
much.
बहुत ही सीखने को मिला. And also thanks to Vinayak for running the streams, and also a couple of questions as well. So thank you so much, Stuti. Definitely, firstly, guys, आपको Amazon का link दे दिया है. Do go buy the book and give it a read, and try to read before December when the third book comes out. And also do follow Stuti on Instagram to catch her live streams on Instagram as well. So stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. See you tomorrow 6 p.m. with another guest. Like and follow our Facebook page and turn on post notifications to get notified when we do go live. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch our live streams on entrepreneurship. So see you now. Bye-bye. Thank you, Stuti.
Thank you.